Hello, welcome everyone to our session. If you don't know much or even don't know anything about SAP UI5, but you want to learn how to develop applications with UI5, then you are exactly at the right place right now. Because we have prepared a sort of tutorial that we want to introduce in this session. And yeah, with some examples where you can learn everything. And that's basically Florian to my side.
Hi, I'm Florian. I'm in the UI5 team, and there I'm a UI5 developer, concentrating on all the basic parts of UI5 and mainly the UI5 tooling, which is mainly known by you. And yeah, and this is?
Yeah, I'm Andreas Kunz. I'm a lead architect in the UI5 development team. I've been with UI5 basically from the very beginning, like more than 10 years ago. And I've been in various roles, developing controls, developing in the core, and so on. Yeah, but I think that's enough about us. Now it's all about you, about the participants in this course. What do they need to bring to the table so they can successfully join?
Today it's really a beginner course. So you don't have to know about UI5 at all. What you have to do is you should know a little bit JavaScript, the basic parts, and you should be a little bit familiar. Don't have to be familiar with the TypeScript at all, because this course is in TypeScript. That means that we will show you how TypeScript runs, how you set up your system at all. So no knowledge is needed there. We will use the Business Technology Platform from SAP, but also there we have documented all the steps which are required for you to set up your system and get started. And yeah, so that's the thing, what you have to know. And yeah, Andreas, what's your?
Yeah, so this is going to be a virtual course, and that's the first time for me as well. But it's pretty easy. So we explain you in the next couple of minutes, like 10 or 15 minutes. We explain you how everything is going, where you find the exercises to do, and so on. And later on, you have the opportunity to do all the exercises at your own pace, at the time that is most convenient for you, and so on. If you encounter any problems during the time when you're doing the exercises, there's a way where we can help you. We will show this later on. If you have already questions right now during our session here, then there should be a Q&A tool or a question tool next to our video where you can enter questions. Please restrict the questions to like the session content here, so we can't answer about SAP strategy or so. Please focus on that. There's also a chat, so if you want to connect with each other, say where you're from and so on, so please feel welcome to do so. But if you have a question that we should read and answer later on, then please enter into the question tool. So I mentioned the exercises. Where do we find those exercises?
So let's show you what we wanted to do today, or what you want to achieve today. So we have here on the well-known platform github.com, in the SAP samples organization, we have prepared all the stuff. We have the repository there, which is called TechEd23, and we have our course ID. And here you find all the material for this course. You don't need anything further. And this repo will also stay after this session today, and you can have a look on it. And also don't worry if you don't finish today or now, it will stay there and you can do your exercise and work with it. So let me show you the repo and how the exercises are structured. First of all, we have this starting page where you have all the requirements listed. So we also link to set up your BTP account correctly. So that's the basic parts, all the requirements. And then we have 10 exercises prepared for you. And yeah, you should start with exercise 0 to get started, and then you can proceed with all the exercises step by step. And we will guide you here to the course. So let me just show you how such an exercise looks like. So this is, for example, a typical exercise. So you have there 2 badges on the top. One is the badge called Solution. Here you can click on it and you will find all the material, all the code which you code in this step. So if something is not running on your side, you can check out the current state of the code with this link. And also what we have is we have a demo badge, and with that you can just have directly you can see how it looks like when you're finished with this application, with this state. So in exercise 2, It's really basic, so you see it's only a title with this in this application, but you have the chance to see how it should look like after you completed a step. Yeah, so that's it. First of all, we have here this exercise. We describe what we want to achieve, where the coding samples are. You can just copy here with the click and paste it to your content, or you can just write it in the environment you want. And we have also put an explanation in some points where we describe in more detail why you're doing that and what's the purpose of this configuration or from this step. So yeah, feel free to have a look on that and see. And yeah, we are really open for feedback if you have something. So that's the exercise at all. But what the colleagues should do to achieve that, to make a support incident, or how will they get support?
Yeah, so in case of issues, I already explained that we are still here to help even after our session here, when you encounter trouble, problems or so, while you are doing the exercises. And to get to this point, you can just go up to the top of the repository. Oh, maybe you do it for me. Go all the way up. There's an Issues tab. And there you get to the list of issues. Of course, there are none yet. But there's also this new issue button that you can click to create a new issue. And because there are like hundreds of you literally, we have put up some questions here where you can, where you are asked about at which stage you are and so on. So we can help you in the best possible way. But let's hope that you don't even need this. This morning, the same workshop was already held in Bangalore live at TechEd, and it went smoothly. So I think we had some dozens of beta testers there. This means that you should probably not even need this. Yeah. And apart from issues, let's look at what you are actually learning. So, Florian, what is the content? What do participants exactly learn from SAP UI5 in this tutorial?
Yeah, so because this course is the first course in TechEd with UI5 in TypeScript, so we will learn the basic parts of TypeScript. That's really something new for UI5 developers maybe. And you will learn the basic parts of UI5. You will learn about what are controls in UI5, what you are doing with views, with models, data binding, and you get the basics of how you can enable routing. Also, the translation of your UI text is a thing what we will tell you in this course. And of course, because we want to pimp our application, we are using charts, and that's really important, in the SAP environment. So we will show you some beautiful charts, and that's the thing what you can learn in this course.
Okay, and plus all the life cycle of the application from the very beginning, from the setup in Business Application Studio. So we will create the application from scratch, all through the entire life cycle up to the deployment in Business Technology Platform, Cloud Foundry. So you see the entire life cycle and all parts of SAP UI5. This sounds a bit like you're learning like everything, but are there things that people don't learn in this course?
Yeah, this course is definitely something for freestyle development. So you learn UI5 with its basic parts. We will not learn Fiori elements, to code an application with Fiori elements, or also the server side. So it's just the front end, basic parts, and yeah, that's it. So which app we want to build?
Yeah, right. Let's now move a bit away from the UI5 topics to the scenario you are implementing. So basically, you are implementing a small application, and the scenario goes a bit like this. Your customer is an operator of several ice houses across the country. So in several cities, there are buildings where goods are stored that may not get too warm. And to have a sort of look over those ice houses, you have to build an application that displays an overview of all the temperature sensors there. And you want to give the customer possibility to filter for temperatures, so for the places where it's okay or where it's getting too hot. And you also want a way to drill down in one specific ice house and show the temperature history in a chart here in this specific ice house. So you see how urgent the problem is, how long it already exists, and so on. So that's basically the scenario you're going to implement.
Yeah, we will use lots of charts, right? So you will learn how you can use that, how you format the values here, the numbers, because often enterprise software is often dealing with numbers. So here also we have lots of content, how you can format them, how you can visualize them. That's really one thing what we want to tackle here in this course.
Yeah, I think that's important, visualizing data, not only bringing the data to the screen, but also visualizing it here with the colors as well. This makes an app more usable. So this is something you learn next to the pure UI5 knowledge, I would say.
And also, don't forget the deployment, right? Often it's the case, right, that you do not know how you can deploy it to any platform or how you do it. In this course, because you have the power of the Business Application Studio, you create this application from scratch, and everything what is needed to deploy it fully functional to the cloud is done by the Business Application Studio and all the major functionality there. So in this course, at the end, you will have a full-blown sample, a full-blown application in the cloud, and you can share this link with others. It's available on the cloud, on the internet, so it's really something powerful. And yeah, so we hope that you have fun with that. And
yeah, I think that's a good wrap-up. Have fun with it. That's good. I think this is what we wanted to bring across in our Jumpstart session to get you going. Now let's have a look whether there were any questions that came up during the session, and we'll try to answer them.
Live Q&A.
Okay. Then let's see what kind of questions we have. They are still being worked on because behind the scenes there's some moderators getting all the questions and checking which ones are applicable to our session. And now there's one coming in. Do you want to read it?
So it's possible to do the coding also in Visual Studio Code instead of the Business Application Studio?
And yes, the answer is, I think, yes, because that's a pure JavaScript project, the UI5 project. So you could also do this inside the Visual Studio Code, yeah. The only thing you would have to get in the beginning to get the application set up, there's a step that involves Business Application Studio and the built-in plugins for bootstrapping the application, so the template generation. So I think you could also install that as plugin to Visual Studio Code. I'm not 100% sure, but at least from that, and you can import the code from our GitHub repository. From there, you can do everything in Visual Studio Code as well. So we have a link on the main entry page of the GitHub repository where we tell you how to get the code imported, and this could also be done for each and every step, also in Visual Studio Code.
Yeah, so the next question is, are there any useful links for advanced concepts for TypeScript? And for example, how you can make requests in TypeScript to the backend? Yeah, so therefore we have already put some material into the repo in the bottom, where we have links to our TypeScript repository and also to further steps how you can work with UI5 and TypeScript.
Yeah. I think the very last link is focusing on UI5 and TypeScript. So how? Okay, that's the tutorial actually, but from there probably there's some link to the UI5 and TypeScript. If you Google UI5 and TypeScript, then you get to the page I actually mean. This is explaining how these things fit together, how UI5 is developed in a TypeScript world. The question is also about advanced concepts of TypeScript, and there we don't have specific links. There I would ask you to check out the official TypeScript documentation. So another question, can we do local development without deploying to BTP environment? And the answer is, do you want to answer?
Yeah, so it's possible, yeah. So you're not bound. So it's only the jump start at the beginning, which you have to do or should do with BTP, that you have to set up, but in the end, everything is locally possible.
Mm-hmm. So even during the development in Business Application Studio, you are also running the application for trying it out, whether it works and so on. And this is also not yet deploying there. And if you do the same in Visual Studio Code, then of course it's all locally. So there's the UI5 dev server below running it, and you can run it completely standalone also if you want to. Okay. There's no other question yet.
So yeah,
Let's chat a while and see whether we get some more. So, okay, so maybe the moderators have decided not to pass any of the additional questions to us. Maybe they will be answered independently, directly. Or if you have really an urgent question, you can also go to the GitHub repository. Just Google for the session ID AD283v. If you just Google for it, you will also find the repository. You don't need to type the whole link. And yeah, there in the Issues tab, you can also raise any questions you have about UI5 in this tutorial in particular, I would say.
Yeah, so we are happy for feedback and for issues, so we are there and yeah,
okay,
have fun.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for your interest and attention. Have fun.